Here on Connecting Point, we've featured programs that infuse the arts into education. And tonight, we take a look at Double Edge Theater, located in Ashfield. The professional theater company is currently engaged in the national and international tour of the Grand Parade of the 20th Century. Double Edge recently worked with students in Springfield, presenting this fascinating period of U.S. history in a way that both captivated their audience and hooked them on history. I sat down with the folks from Double Edge Theater to talk about this innovative way of engaging children.
This project that we're doing in Springfield came about because one of the interesting things we learned while we were touring was how exhilarating it was to be performing this show, which has this focal point on what is our mythology of the 20th century. To perform this material for young people, many of whom are not of the 20th century. It became exciting for the performers. It created a different type of dialogue with this young audience. And we decided that we wanted to do it here in Springfield, in a place where there's much less access to the arts, and where we are interested in having sort of a multi-year connection of sharing work, sharing our training. So we initiated doing performances that will be free for the high schools for about 800 to 1,000 students, as well as doing in-class lesson plans that are our own 20th century curriculum, creating sort of a collective memory of the 20th and even 21st century, and also sharing our own original brand of theater training, which is very physical, very imaginative, and includes some sort of flying. Yeah.
Which is always fun for kids. Amrita, how did you get involved with Double Edge?
I met Double Edge Theater in 2012, and it was actually through the premiere of the Grand Parade of the 20th Century. I was working at Arena Stage at the time and was introduced to the company with this project and became a creative producer for it. I feel that this project itself was very compelling to me for so much of what Matthew spoke to. It's a very kinesthetic and visceral look at the 20th century that is very image-based, that is, incorporates some really beautiful live music as well as audio, and has a rush of images of the 20th century that really capture different emotions and icons and events in a way that was incredibly moving to me. It was like theater I'd never seen before.
What do you think the benefit would be for bringing a program like this into school? I mean, the schools today are so test-driven. We're so worried about data and academic standards. Is this just a waste of time, to take kids out of the classroom? Shouldn't they be drilling math facts?
I personally don't think so. I think really when you're looking at what is facing our generation, younger generations, what is really needed is our creative citizens, our young people who are looking at the past and the present and the future and asking themselves, what is this narrative? What is my place in the world today? Connecting to the legacy and ancestry of their families, and the meaningful aspects of the past, and thinking about what's my role in writing the future narrative. The performance is asking the audience members, the spectators, these young people, these young future leaders and citizens to ask themselves, how am I writing the future? The narrative is not a rational narrative. It's an artistic one. It's a mythic one. It's one where people are flying and are in a dreamlike reality as well as a historical one. I think this engages the imagination and the creativity of the spectator, especially the young people, to think outside of the box and to engage the creative facets, their own creative faculties.
It was really incredible to see how kids reacted to the sense of imagination that they saw in the performance, and how imagination, creativity aren't often valued in the same way, but are incredibly necessary to anyone's growth and learning. And in the conversations that we would have with students then and since then, it's been incredibly inspiring to see that for them, just being able to see the 20th century in a way outside of a textbook, seeing it come to life in a depiction depiction that really captures so many different, ideas and such, a kind of compelling visual narrative that's really different, in some ways shifts their perspective on what is possible.
Thank you so much for joining us. It sounds fantastic.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.